What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 109 and season 4, episode 7 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back to you for the 109th time. And I'd like to welcome all of my fellow hoodlums, lowlifes, shady characters, scumbags, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, cheats, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics with abusive language, friends and family of the gooch, fienders and degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem, all right? If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into one or more or a few of those or all of those categories, crews. So welcome, and make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner so you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word, that's easy too. Just tell other fienders and scumbags to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so that way you can get dialed in to everything I give you. Before I get to the picks, I have a few thoughts and programming notes as usual. First off, couple shout outs. First shout out, Captain Italia, Fredbo, aka Captain Italia, aka Fredbo. Right here. You're probably asking what Christopher Columbus is doing right next to me. That's Columbus. I don't celebrate Indigenous People Day, whatever that is. I mean, when I was growing up, they were called Indians. Now they're called Indigenous People. To me, it's still Columbus Day. I got this as a gift from my boy Fredbo. Props to Fredbo and to Columbus. And to the Italians that worship Columbus. Number 2, there's a UPS driver here in Nashville who's awful. He's just the worst. He's the worst guy, he's the worst person, and he's the worst driver. If you're ever in a position where you have a job and you have to deal with a UPS driver on a daily basis and you want a really, really bad one, move to Bellevue. Plain and simple. JT is a nightmare. He outkicked his coverage. He married a beautiful woman. They got a baby on the way. I just have to question her choice in men because this guy is just lost in outer space. Finally, happy birthday to Angela. Birthday on Friday. Angela, you rock, girl. MLB playoffs are here. And if you saw my video last week, I said to check back every day and look at the comment section for my daily plays in the MLB playoffs going forward. Before the game started yesterday, I gave you my picks for the series, but each day I will give you my daily plays, so make sure to check back. As for the division series, those get going on Saturday. So when you wake up Saturday morning, check the comment section in this video, and I'll give you series prices for all 4 series to go along with my picks for each game 1, and there will be 4 of them going on Saturday. And then check back daily from there on. A few episodes ago, I told you about all the great quarterbacks in the Pac-12 this year. But there are other very good quarterbacks throughout the rest of the country right now that can all make an impact in what has the potential to be the best quarterback draft class ever. Reigning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams stands alone at the top, but he's got Washington's Michael Penix right behind him. But according to Heisman odds right now, Texas's Quinn Ewers, Oregon's Bo Nix, Florida State's Jordan Travis, Notre Dame's Sam Hartman, LSU's Jaden Daniels, Michigan's J.J. McCarthy. The list goes on and on and on. There's just a lot of really good quarterbacks. There are others that aren't on that list that will be drafted come next April. And if you're an NFL team with a quarterback problem, and let's face it, there's a lot, this could be the year you find someone. I mean, how many really good quarterbacks are there in the NFL right now? 10? Maybe? So that leaves 20 teams with a quarterback problem, okay? For instance, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Atlanta Falcons, that both have good teams, but they don't get any production from the quarterback. Would it be worth it trading 3 future number 1s to move up to the top spot and take a run at Williams, who looks like he's a can't-miss prospect, let's face it, along the lines of John Elway, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, guys like that who just could not miss. Well, let's see what happens, but the quarterback market will be a big thing to watch as the season moves on. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, here's your weekly reminder that his name is Najee Harris, not Najee. The man's not French. College football last week was a reversal for me as I jumped out to a huge start by hitting both Thursday night games and going 3-0-1 on Friday. So when you go into Saturday already up 5-0-1, good things are bound to happen. 11-9 isn't exactly a great day on Saturday, but add it all up and it's 16-9-1. That's a great NCAA weekend. It's 64%, which is what I needed after a couple of subpar college weeks. The NFL I missed on Thursday night for the first time this year, but went 9-5 on Sunday, including my first win of the year on Sunday Night Football, and followed that up with an easy win on Monday night as Seattle rolled over the Giants, giving me another 10-6 week in the NFL. Add it all up, that's 26-15-1 for the week. That's good for 63%. Yep. Here are the numbers. Let's go over them. 26-15-1 last week, 63.41%. That's as good as it gets, people. You won't find people doing better than that. For the season, NCAA football, 75 wins, 60 losses, 2 pushes, 55.55%. Need a couple more good weeks to push that up to 57, 58. That's what we're shooting for. NFL, 41 wins, 26 losses, 1 push, 61.19%. That's just knocking the ball out of the park. That's 10 wins a week. Yep. Overall, every single pick that I've given you in all 6 episodes so far this season, 116 wins, 86 losses, 3 pushes, 57.42%, solid all the way around. You're welcome. I mean, please remember that all these picks are 100% free, so for all those touts that give you 75 to 80% winners, come on. We all know you're full of shit, plus you're charging for these picks. With me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods, STONIE Woods. We'll start today in the ML playoffs, where I already gave you my first pick in the Texas-Tampa game that's just about to start in about a half hour from now, but by the time this gets uploaded, the game will already be started. I gave you the pick late last night for this first game tomorrow, and it was Tampa, by the way, with Eflin on the mound. But here are my plays for the rest of the day. 4:35 Eastern on ESPN, give me the Twins, minus 140 on the money line over the Blue Jays. Berrios is nice for Toronto, but Sonny Gray has been a beast this year, number 3 in the league in ERA, and he will pitch Minnesota into the division series with a win today. 7:05 Eastern on ESPN2. I like Arizona to close out Milwaukee. Last night was a gut punch as the Brewers lost with their ace on the mound. Tonight they face Arizona's ace. Give me Gallen plus 110 as the D-backs advance. 8:05 Eastern on ESPN. I like Stoniecast to close out Miami with Aaron Nola on the mound. Philly showed last night how important aces are in October. Wheeler last night dominated. Nola tonight. It'll be more of the same. I'll take Philly on the run line, too, at plus 120, meaning the only series that's going 3, according to me, is the Tampa-Texas series. Again, make sure to keep checking back daily in the comments section of this video for my daily picks and series prices for the division series, which begin on Saturday. Tonight we have 2 NCAA matchups, so let's go right down the road from here to Murfreesboro. At 8 Eastern on ESPN, 1-4 Middle Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorite over 4-1 Jacksonville State. MTSU's only win was over Murray State, and Jayville State's only loss was to Coastal Carolina. I root for MTSU, but they're in trouble tonight. Give me the Gamecocks plus 4.5 on the road. 9 Eastern tonight on CBS Sports Network in Las Cruces. Give me another road dog. And I'll take Florida International plus 6.5 over New Mexico State. Uh-oh. What is going on here? National alert. Well, it's a test. I'm getting a national alert and it's a test. Phone's blowing up. Unreal. Anyway, that was Florida International plus 6.5 at New Mexico State. Moving on to Thursday, NCAA football. Let's start at 7 Eastern in Lynchburg, Virginia, and roll with the home favorite here. I like Liberty minus 18.5 versus Sam Houston State, who's just flat out overmatched here. It's a big number, but I'm going to lay them anyway with the Flames. Also tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ESPNU in Ruston, give me Western Kentucky as the road favorite of minus 5.5 over Louisiana Tech. So that's 2 dogs tonight and 2 favorites tomorrow. NFL action. Week 5 starts tomorrow night. And this week is the first week that the byes begin, so Cleveland, the Chargers, Seattle, and Tampa all get the week off. Tomorrow's matchup will be on Amazon in our nation's capital. This one looks fishy. And while they're not exactly 2 teams that move the needle, hashtag snoozefest, there's value here. I like the Commando Skins, a 7-point home chalk over the winless and hapless Bears, who are just a mess. Now, I'm going against the trend that I just heard on a Colin Cowherd show. Jason McIntyre just said, teams that play into overtime on Sunday, the Redskins, Commando Skins, sorry. Teams that play into overtime on Sunday and then have to play on Thursday night, 4 days later, are 3-24 against the number in the last 27. I don't care. The Bears are a train wreck. Got to take the Skins here. Friday night, back to college, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN in Stillwater. I'm going to ride with Oklahoma State as 10-point home dogs against Kansas State. K-State's the better team and they win easily, but I like the Cowboys through the back door late. The last game on Friday goes at 8 Eastern on FS1 in Champaign, and though there's not much faith in Nebraska these days, I like the Huskers plus 3.5 on the road over Illinois, and what could be a good Big Ten matchup between 2 really, really, really bad teams. Saturday morning, you ready? Here we go. Let's get it started. Noon Eastern in Columbia on ESPN with the 3 Fs: faith, family, and football. LSU, for some strange reason, is still ranked and clearly shouldn't be, with 2 losses and no impressive wins. I'm on number 21, Missouri here, at home, plus 6.5 against the 23rd ranked Chinese Bandits. Noon Eastern on Big Fox at the Big Horseshoe in Columbus. We have a good matchup with 2 undefeated Big Ten schools. 4th-ranked Ohio State is 19.5-point favorites over unranked Maryland. And though I've cashed 2 straight weeks on the Terrapins behind their excellent play from Taulia Tagovailoa, I got to dance with the Buckeyes here at home, even though they're laying such a big number. OSU minus 19 and a hook at home. I'll stay in the Big Ten at noon Eastern on Peacock in Madison and take Rutgers plus 14 on the road at Wisconsin. Noon Eastern, we have a good one here in the Red River Shootout. Yep, I still call it the shootout. People don't want to say the word shootout because it involves guns, so they call it the Red River Rivalry. Nope, it'll always be the Red River Shootout. I'm old school for the same reason that Christopher Columbus is right next to me right now. The game's on ABC. It's 3rd-ranked Texas. They're a 6.5-point favorite over 12th-ranked Oklahoma. Last year's historic 49-0 blowout win by Texas was an outlier, and that's not going to happen again, especially not Saturday. Texas is playing very well, especially up front, but so is Oklahoma. Not in Norman and not in Austin. This one's at Jerry World in Arlington. I like the Sooners. Give me the points. 2 Eastern on the CW Network in Raleigh. I like Marshall plus 6.5 on the road over North Carolina State. At 3 Eastern on the Pac-12 Network in Pasadena. You can call me crazy and call me a homer, but I still like UCLA at home, minus 3.5 over 13th ranked Washington State, who's playing well, but won't be able to keep up at the Rose Bowl. 3:30 Eastern in Clemson on the ACC network. Clemson's a 3-touchdown chalk over Wake Forest. I like the Deeks on the road getting the 3 touchdowns. Also in the ACC at 3:30 Eastern in Tallahassee on ABC, I like number 5 Florida State at home laying a huge 23.5 over Virginia Tech. Let's make it 3 straight ACC matchups at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN in Chapel Hill, where I like Syracuse plus 8.5 on the road over North Carolina. 3:30 Eastern on Peacock in Iowa City. Wave. Stop and wave to the children at St. Jude's Hospital. Give me Iowa minus 2.5 at home over Purdue. 3:30 Eastern in College Station on CBS for reasons not known to mankind, aside from the fact that A&M always gives Bama trouble. I'm going to take Texas A&M plus 2.5 at home over 11th ranked Alabama. 4 Eastern in Lawrence on Big Fox. I'm all over Central Florida. Plus 2.5 at Kansas. 6:30 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Tempe. Give me Colorado. Deion Sanders' boys will bounce back from 2 straight losses, and they're laying 4.5 at a very, very woeful Arizona State squad. 7 Eastern on ESPN between the hedges in Athens. 2 unbeaten SEC schools tee it up, and I like 20th ranked Kentucky to keep it rolling, plus 20.5 at top ranked Georgia. The Bulldogs right now are a lot like the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL, as they're both unbeaten, but to the eye, they haven't been impressive. The Wildcats have been, so give me UK and the points. 7:30 Eastern on NBC in Stoniapolis. I'm on number 2 Michigan, laying 19.5 on the road at Minnesota because I have no faith in the Gopher offense. 7:30 Eastern on SEC Network at the Grove in Oxford. Ole Miss is riding high after their shootout win over shitty-ass LSU and their trashy fans. But Arkansas will give them all they can handle here. So I like the Hogs plus 11.5 on the road at Ole Miss. 7:30 Eastern on an ABC up the road a few hours from here in Louisville. 10th ranked Notre Dame, who escaped a big-time jam in Durham last week, won't be so lucky this time because of the Cardinals' ability to score. So I like Louisville plus 6.5 at home over the Golden Domers. 8 Eastern on the ACC Network at Hard Rock Stadium. 17th ranked Miami's a 20.5 point favorite over Georgia Tech. Miami stays unbeaten here before they lose their next 2 and won't cover the 20.5. Give me the Yellow Jackets and the big number, even though they're not a good team. At 8 Eastern in Ames on FS2, give me Iowa State plus 6.5 at home over TCU. 8 Eastern in Waco, I like Texas Tech plus 1 on the road at Baylor. 8 Eastern in Laramie on Big Fox. Give me Wyoming at home here, big time, plus the 5.5 against 24th ranked Fresno State. This one has me seriously considering the money line, but for now, give me the Cowboys and the points. 10 Eastern in Berkeley on Pac-12 Network. I like 15th ranked Oregon State to shut down Cal, so give me the Beavs on the road laying 9.5. Finally, we lost the Degenerate Special last week for the first time this season and look to bounce back strong this week, and I'm on 9th ranked USC minus 21.5 over Arizona. SC struggled in the second half last week against Colorado, and I see them bouncing back strong this week, especially with Arizona quarterback Jaden DeLora hopping around on a gimpy ankle. Even if he plays, it doesn't matter. Trojans minus 21 and a chunk to close the week. Quick notes before I get to the NFL. That's 23 college plays for Saturday. That's also 14 underdogs, which shows you where I'm leaning. With the 6 plays tonight through Friday, that's 29 college picks for the week. Also, next week, there are 3 college games on Tuesday. So come next Tuesday and just check the comments section on this video, and I'll give you my picks for all 3 games next Tuesday to go along with all my daily baseball picks that'll be popping up every day in the comments section. Now, let's move on to another NFL Sunday, and we'll start again at 9:30 Eastern in London for the second straight week, as Jacksonville will play in England again, this time against Buffalo. The Bills have been cruising since Josh Allen shit the bed and cost me a lot of tickets in their opener. In the 3 games since, though, they've outscored their 3 opponents by 90 points, including a 28-point beatdown of Miami last week, while Jayville bounced back strong with a win over Atlanta last week after losing to Houston the week before. This is a tough one, but right now I got to roll with the hot hand, and that's Buffalo, -5 and a hook across the pond. Let's get back stateside at 1 Eastern in hot Atlanta and roll with the Falcons, -1 at home over the Texans. C.J. Stroud has been impressive for Houston, and Desmond Ridder hasn't been for Atlanta. But the Falcons are a very different team at home, so I'm going to ride with the Falcons in Hot Town minus the point over the Texans. 1 Eastern in the Motor City, I like Detroit, and I don't like Carolina. So I'll take Carolina +9 on the road in Detroit. Why not? 1 Eastern in Indianapolis, the Colts are 1.5-point home favorites over the Titans. Tennessee does not look good at all on the road, and until they can get it done, I've got to go the other way as Indy continues to impress behind rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson. Give me the Colts -1.5 in the Dome. 1 Eastern at Hard Rock Stadium, I'm going to dance with the Dolphins to get right after getting crushed last week in Buffalo, even though they're laying 11. The Giants are a mess. The Giants, the Bears, the Raiders, there's some really, really god-awful teams going right now. The Giants couldn't beat Seattle at home. They're banged up on their O-line, and now they're on a short week heading to Bienvenidos a Miami. Give me the Fins, minus the big number at home. 1 Eastern in Foxborough. New England's a 1.5-point favorite over New Orleans in what has the makings of another snooze fest. If I'm forced to make a pick, I'll take New England at home against a banged-up Derek Carr-led offense that does more dinking and dunking that you see in a damn donut shop. 1 Eastern in the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle in the Steel City. Baltimore's a 3.5 road chalk over Pittsburgh. This game's always a fist fight, and I've seen it too many times over the years. If the Ravens win, it's a Justin Tucker field goal to decide it. I love the hook that attached to the 3, so give me the Steelers +3.5. 4 Eastern in La La Land. The Eagles are 4.5-point road favorites over the Ram Chops. I can't get a read on the Eagles. If I take them, they lose. If I go against them, they cover. In a guess, I'll take the reverse turf home dog here. A trend that went 1-1 last week and is now 7-5 on the season. Rams at home plus the points. 4 Eastern in the Valley of the Sun. Cincy's a 3-point road favorite over the Cardinals. The Bengals haven't looked good, especially on the road, while Arizona plays hard regardless of where the game is. The Cards are also a reverse turf home dog, so I'll take Zona plus the field goal. 4:25 Eastern in the Mile High City. The snooze fest continue as Denver's a short 2-point home favorite over the New Jersey Jets. Both teams stink. Give me a break. Give me the Broncos at home. Why not? 4:25 Eastern in Stoneapolis. The Chiefs head to the Twin Cities as a 5-point road favorite over the Vikings. The Chiefs are vulnerable and everyone knows it. The Jets gave them all they could handle on Sunday night, and the Vikings are a reverse turf home dog number 3 of the day. Give me Mini plus the 5. The game of the weekend goes at 8:20 Eastern on Sunday night in the Silicon Valley, where the Niners are a 3.5-point favorite over the Cowboys. This is a huge matchup as Dallas's vanilla offense probably won't get much going against the 49er defense. But the matchup everyone wants to see is Dallas's young, hungry defense versus the Niners' offense. Brock Purdy's vastly underrated, and the Niners continue to do to Dallas what they always do, win and cover. Quick note on Brock Purdy. At what point do we drop the untested, we don't have enough sample size, he hasn't won enough games, he hasn't gone on the road to win in January? At what point do we drop that narrative? Because the man's never lost. He's undefeated. He's never lost. Figure that one out. Monday Night Football at 8:15 Eastern is in America's playground this time, as the Packers are a short 2-point favorite over the Raiders. Neither team's very good, and the Raiders have a quarterback issue to go along with a truly god-awful defense, and now a culture problem with fans and players wanting Josh McDaniel out. But when you have the worst owner in professional sports, who knows? Al Davis, we need you back because your son is blowing it almost as bad as George Steinbrenner's son is blowing it. Give me the Pack on the road to close out the week. So 29 college football plays and all 14 NFL matchups gives us 43 picks for the week. That doesn't even count the daily MLB playoff games I'm going to be counting, right? So, I mean, that should be more than enough. 24 wins this week is nice, but 27 will definitely make a statement. So let's do it. Let's get after it. The next video is going to be next Wednesday. So until then, remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch.